Before we would put anyone up, we generally prefer that they come to what we would call an open meet, which is when we have people signed up to do suspensions, sometimes crew members, sometimes not just friends but also clients, because we do offer that as a service. We would like people to come and see one in person first, just because it gives you a much better idea of how things are going to go, what's going to happen. And a lot of times we've had people, bring their friends, bring a guest, and that person gets very interested and then wants to go up. So what we would do for a first timer is, kind of just give them a super quick rundown. Here's the rig point, it holds this much weight, some stupid number of kilonewtons. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is why I'm the apprentice crew member. But we would just show them, okay, these are the hooks that we're using. We always put first timers up by the skin in the top of their back. It's a very comfortable suspension. I love doing it. You kind of explain to them, we're marking your piercings. Usually you would do, Dan and Doug will actually pierce them at the same time. So rather than feeling 4 piercings, they're only really feeling 2, which tends to freak people out a little bit less. Also kind of nice, just get it over a little faster. And so you'd mark the piercings, get them rigged in, and just kind of explain to them, this is all about you. Take your time. You can go up as fast or as slow as you want. You can talk to, we always have a coach. You can talk to the coach. You can talk to the rigger. You can not talk at all. We have hand signals, up, stop, down, and just kind of talk them through it. We generally tend to tell people you're going to have the urge to get up on your tiptoes. Try not to do that, because it will tire your legs out really fast, which is definitely a real thing. And then we would unhook you from the rigging. So that's, somebody with gloves on is going to unhook what are called shackles. There's little twisty guys with threads on them. Walk you back to the table where you were pierced. So it's usually a massage table. Remove all the hooks. Just gently massage any air out. Make sure there's none left in there. It's not really going to hurt you. It's just going to cause bruising and be generally more uncomfortable than if we get rid of it. And then from there, just throw some bandages on and you're good to go. It is an extremely dangerous activity when you're doing it properly with people that have training and know-how and proper equipment. Everything we have is weight bearing. It's usually either rock climbing equipment or something that has been fabricated for us directly by other suspension practitioners in the community. That said, if you're doing it unsafely, if you don't understand cross-contamination, if you don't have experience piercing, even if you don't have a coach, that could be, very mentally difficult for somebody. If they don't have somebody explaining to them, keeping them calm, making sure that they're okay through the suspension process, that could even be, pretty detrimental. But as far as, if you're doing it properly, the risks are absolutely minimal. For a hook to actually tear completely out of somebody is exceptionally rare. You will sometimes have a hole that opens up a little bit more, but that's, we're trained for that. We watch that. We make sure that it's, not getting any bigger than it needs to. So just crew members for a single suspension, we've done it with 2 people. We prefer to have between 3 and 4. You generally will have at least 1 piercer. Again, if not 2, we usually have 2. A rigger, so somebody that does specialize more with the ropes. Obviously everybody knows they're not tying, but they're gonna have an easier time just doing that a little bit more quickly if it's something simple, or if it's something very complicated, very artistic, that's something that they would specialize in. And then we always have a crew member doing what's called running bio. So you basically walk around with gloves on, not touching anything. You have a piece of sterile gauze, and you're just making sure that the person suspending doesn't bleed on anything. The blood is pretty minimal, but it just helps minimize the risk of any cross-contamination from them, maybe backing into something if they're not watching where they're going or that kind of thing.